The camera was already recording. Just another quiet shift inside a small neighborhood store. Lights humming, aisles perfectly still. No one was investigating anything. No one expected to find something unusual. It was routine surveillance, the kind that captures nothing more than late customers and empty hours. And then, without warning, something in the frame doesn't behave the way it should. No alarms, no reaction, just a moment that doesn't fit, preserved exactly as it happened. It's recent, it's real, and no one has been able to explain what the camera recorded that night. Returned at night, the camera had already filmed something moving near the fence days before, and no one thought much of it after that. It was just another rural property, quiet, horses resting, nothing out of place. Then it happens again. This time, the figure doesn't linger at the edge of the frame. It moves straight toward a young horse standing alone. There's no hesitation, no pause. In seconds, it grabs the animal and drags it into the dark beyond the light. The footage doesn't show a fight. No clear direction, just sudden movement, then empty space where the horse had been. By morning, the stall is open. The ground looks undisturbed from a distance. The horse is gone. No one explains what returned that night. Church movement. At 2:43 a.m., the church is empty. The lights are off, except for the faint glow near the altar. The camera is fixed in place, recording the same angle it records every night. Nothing unusual is happening. The crucifix hangs above the sanctuary, still, exactly where it has always been. For a few seconds, nothing changes. Then the head appears, to shift. It's subtle, a small movement in the neck, just enough to feel different from shadow or compression. The angle seems to change slightly, as if the figure adjusts its position. There's no one inside, no visible interference, no camera shake. The movement lasts a moment, and then everything is still again. The footage doesn't offer context. It doesn't repeat. It just records what happened at 2:43 a.m. Chicken pen intrusion. The farm is quiet at night. The camera covers the yard the way it always does, pointed toward the coop, recording empty hours no one plans to watch. Then something moves along the edge of the frame. At first, it's just a shape lowering itself near the ground. But when it bends down, the outline becomes clearer. The body looks long, covered in hair, almost human, in proportion, but not standing upright. It leans over a chicken and begins feeding, not frantically, not like a startled animal. The movements are steady, deliberate, as if it knows it won't be interrupted. There are no other animals nearby. No barking, no reaction. After a few seconds, it straightens slightly and slips back into the dark beyond the reach of the camera. There's no second clip, just that moment, and whatever was watching the farm that night. Black dog silhouette. The clip starts already recording. A man stands in an open area at night, barely lit. The image grainy enough to blur the edges of his body. Nothing suggests what's about to happen. Then he begins to bend, not like someone crouching. His posture shifts in a way that feels off, joints angling strangely as his frame lowers toward the ground. The silhouette narrows. Within seconds, what was upright no longer looks human. The shape resembles a black dog, low and still, facing away from the camera. There are no visible cuts, no clear transition point, just continuous movement in poor resolution. The quality makes details impossible to confirm. That's part of what unsettles me. Some call it an old Nahual story repeating itself. Others think it's careful editing. The video never clarifies which one it is. attached in the dark. It was filmed in the middle of the night on a farm, the kind of place where noises usually mean a loose gate or a restless animal. When the light lowers, you can see it. Attached beneath the animal's belly, the shape is long, dark. It moves in a way that almost looks like wet hair, shifting on its own. It doesn't fall. It clings. The men keep their distance. They use wooden sticks, striking carefully, trying to loosen its grip without hurting the goat. After several hits, it releases. It drops, gathers itself, and crawls slowly toward the tree line. No one follows. The goat survives. Missing reflection. It happens inside a clothing store during regular hours. The camera is mounted high in a corner, capturing racks, shelves, and a large mirror fixed to one wall. Everything looks normal. Customers move in and out of frame. The mirror reflects the space exactly as it should. Then, a man walks past it. He moves directly in front of the glass. His body blocks part of the background. But there's no clear reflection of him. The shelves behind him still appear. The lighting remains consistent. Other objects reflect normally. He doesn't react. He doesn't look at the mirror. He just keeps walking, as if nothing is missing. The clip is short. It doesn't zoom. It doesn't clarify. People replay it, slowing it down frame by frame. Some mention old vampire folklore. Others assume a digital glitch. The footage never confirms either. Upright goat. It's daytime inside a chicken coop. The camera angle is fixed, wide enough to show the ground, the fencing, and the birds moving calmly between feeders. Nothing seems out of place. Then a black goat steps into frame. At first, it looks ordinary, until it rises. Not in a brief rear, like animals sometimes do. It stays up, balanced on two legs. The posture doesn't wobble. It doesn't lean against anything. It begins to walk forward, step after step, slow, controlled. The footage doesn't cut. There's no jump in the recording. The movement continues in one uninterrupted shot. The chickens react before anything else. They scatter instantly, pressing against the sides of the coop. The goat keeps advancing, upright, the entire time. It doesn't fall, and the video never explains how it managed to stay that way. Airport distortion. It's a crowded airport, the kind where movement never really stops. People cross in every direction, dragging suitcases, checking their phones, merging into lines. The camera overlooks everything from above, wide and steady. At first, nothing seems unusual. The flow feels natural, busy, but normal. Then someone walking through the center of the frame is suddenly gone, and not hidden behind another traveler. Not stepping out of view, just absent in the next moment. A few seconds later, it happens again. Another figure blends into the crowd and doesn't come out the other side. The surrounding movement continues uninterrupted, as if no one noticed. There's no visible cut, no obvious digital artifact. The recording plays straight through. People online slow it down, tracing paths, trying to follow each disappearance. In a place designed for constant surveillance, the footage leaves a gap, and no one explains where those people went. Dog interruption. The farm is isolated, and the camera only activates when something crosses the yard. That night, it catches sudden movement near a goat standing alone by the fence. A thin figure rushes in from the dark. Its motions look sharp, almost jerky, not like the smooth run of a dog or coyote. It lowers itself toward the goat, as if the attack is already decided. There's barely time to react. Then the family dog bursts into frame, loud, direct, no hesitation. It places itself between the goat and whatever just lunged. The thin creature pauses, not startled in a frantic way. Just a brief stillness. And then it retreats as it moves away. Its outline doesn't clearly match anything familiar. Too narrow in places. Too uneven in others. Within seconds, it disappears, beyond the reach of the camera. The goat remains. Small visitor. The camera faces a closed door at night, the porch barely lit by a single bulb. It activates without warning, like it always does when something enters the frame. A small figure steps into view. The proportions look off immediately. The body appears short and uneven, not clearly that of a child, not fully that of an adult. It moves in an erratic way, shifting its weight awkwardly as it approaches the door. There's no rush, no visible urgency. One thin arm lifts slowly. It taps the door, softly, almost careful. Then it stands there, motionless for a few seconds, not knocking again, not looking around, just waiting. No one opens. No lights turn on inside. After a pause, the figure steps backward, retreating into the dark beyond the porch. The clip ends. No one ever explained who or what was at that door. Towering standoff. It's late on a remote farm, the kind of place where the camera only captures wind and passing shadows. That night, something larger steps into view, a black bear. It looks heavier than expected, its body filling most of the frame as it moves forward. When it rises onto its hind legs, the scale becomes harder to ignore. It towers over the fence line, over everything nearby. Its mouth opens wide, not rushing, not striking, just standing there, dominant and still. In front of it, a lone dog keeps barking, small by comparison, close enough that the distance feels wrong. The dog doesn't back away. It holds its ground. The bear doesn't retreat. It doesn't lunge either. They remain locked in that moment. Then the footage cuts. What happened after isn't shown. Single frame capture. The motion camera triggers once during the night and records a single image. No sequence, no follow-up clip. Just one photograph saved automatically to the system. In the center of the frame stands a figure upright. Its posture looks balanced, almost deliberate. The eyes reflect the flash, glowing brightly against the dark background. The face is what draws attention. It appears split in impression, partly human in structure, partly canine in length and shape. Not clearly one or the other. There's no visible blur suggesting fast movement, no obvious obstruction in front of the lens. The ground beneath it shows nothing distinct. When the owners check the area later, they find no tracks, no disturbed soil, no signs of intrusion. Only that single image remains. One frame, no explanation. Bull confrontation. The camera overlooks an open section of the farm at night. At first, it's just movement in the distance, two large shapes colliding near the fence line. Then the scene becomes clearer. A bull is engaged in a struggle, with something standing upright. The impact between them looks heavy enough to shake the ground. Dust rises with each clash. The second figure doesn't move, like another cow. Its silhouette appears taller, narrower at the waist, broad at the shoulders. It stays on two legs. It doesn't retreat. The bull pushes forward, then stumbles. The figure forces it down, pinning it with a level of strength that feels disproportionate. There's no clear detail of its face, only the outline, bestial, powerful. The recording stops before anything else is shown. No aftermath, no follow-up, just that confrontation. Roadside distortion. The camera is already in night vision when the man appears on the road. He stands still, under the green glow, centered in the frame, not speaking, not moving. The surroundings are quiet. Empty pavement, tall grass on both sides. For a few seconds, nothing changes. Then his posture shifts. It's not a normal bend or crouch. The neck seems to extend forward in a way that feels disproportionate. The head lowers. The shape of the face becomes harder to read in the grainy light. Fence pressure. The night vision camera activates on its own, covering the fence line like it does every evening. Beyond the wooden barrier, a large shape steps into view. The body looks bulky, the posture almost primate-like as it leans forward. It places both hands on the fence and grips the wood, testing it slowly, as if measuring resistance. On the other side, a German shepherd stands stiff, barking non-stop. It doesn't advance, but it doesn't retreat either. The distance between them is only the width of the fence. Suddenly, the figure lunges. The boards shake hard under the impact. The movement isn't random. It feels intentional. The dog falters for a second. Then instinct takes over, and it runs out of frame. The figure remains at the barrier, still, watching. The recording cuts there. No follow-up. Familiar return. The camera shows a quiet room at home. A black dog moves around casually, playing by itself near a closed door. The space looks ordinary, nothing unusual in the lighting, no one else visible. Then, another shape enters the frame. A white dog appears beside it. The door hasn't opened. No one walks in. The second dog looks solid, not transparent, moving naturally across the floor. For a moment, both animals share the same space. The black dog reacts as if it's real. There's no confusion in its posture. No fear, just recognition. Later, the owner says the white dog resembles a pet that died years earlier. The similarity is hard to ignore. Some say it's just light distortion, a reflection. Others think memory lingers longer than we expect. The footage never clarifies which one it is. Barn intrusion. The camera records the inside of a barn long after everyone has gone to sleep. The doorway is open, showing only darkness beyond it. For a moment, nothing moves. Then a tall figure steps inside. It looks narrow at the waist, broad at the shoulders, with arms that hang unusually long. When it shifts, something along its hands catches the light, thin, sharp extensions that reflect briefly before fading back into shadow. It moves directly toward a calf standing near the wall. There's no visible chase, no sudden panic. Within seconds, the animal is lifted and pulled close to its body. There's no clear struggle on camera, no loud reaction. The figure turns calmly toward the doorway and walks out the way it came. The barn settles back into stillness. Nothing else enters the frame. Frame disappearance. The security camera faces the front of a house at night. The image is steady, slightly grainy, like most residential systems. A cat stands near the entrance, perfectly still. It isn't crouched to jump. It isn't turning away. It just remains there, looking toward the door. For a few seconds, nothing changes. Then, between one frame and the next, the cat is gone. There's no blur suggesting sudden speed, no visible escape route. The space where it stood is empty, as if it had never been there. The rest of the scene remains consistent. Lighting doesn't flicker. Shadows don't shift dramatically. People replay the clip, slowing it down. Some argue it's a camera glitch, a dropped frame, compression error. Others feel the disappearance looks too clean. The recording offers no clarification. One moment it's there, the next, it isn't. Bolivian enclosure. The farm sits quietly at night, surrounded by crops and low fencing. The camera isn't obvious. It's positioned among the plants, angled toward the animal enclosure without drawing attention. Something small enters from the far side. It moves quickly, staying low to the ground. not wandering, not confused. It heads straight toward the chickens. Locals later call it a duende. The word comes easily, passed down through stories. But the footage itself doesn't rely on names. The figure hunts with precision. It grabs, feeds, shifts position. No sudden panic, no wasted motion. Rabbits scatter briefly. The movement continues regardless. There's never a clear close-up. No detailed view of its face or limbs, only behavior seen from a distance. Store floor incident. The camera angle is high, fixed in the corner of a small convenience store. The shelves are full. The lighting is flat, ordinary. It looks like any late shift caught on surveillance. On the floor, a man lies face down between the aisles. His arms are stretched forward, as if he was trying to pull himself away. Behind him stands a small figure. It's shaped like a marionette. Formal suit, bow tie, rigid posture. It doesn't look rushed. It doesn't look blurred. It just stands there, directly behind him. In the video, that figure eventually rises over the man. No visible cut, no camera shift, just that upward motion. The employee near the counter remains in the background. The shelves don't move. Nothing else changes. Only that small figure and the man on the floor beneath it.